Now it is time to select image from our user's photo library. So it is a little bit tricky because we will deal with permissions. And let me start by giving the on-click methods of selecting image. Okay, so this will be select, and let me give the on-click method for save button as well. So this is save, and go to my main to activity here and just create the functions of select, that is view, called by view. Okay, and another thing is save, again called by view, called view. So now I have my functions, but before I go on and write my select function, one thing to remember is to add a new line, and this new line will represent my permission, my usage of confidential data. So we're going to see something called manifest here. So we never worked with manifest before, and here we have some information about our application, general information. And if we want to use something that we have to ask for permission, here we have to specify it. So if you just type uses permission, you will see you have a lot of options here. And what we want to ask for user is actually, in this case, read external storage. So we will use the external storage of our user, right? So you have to specify this in Android manifest. So after specifying this information, you go here and check to see if we have any permission. Okay, so you say if check self permission. So the permission that I'm going to check is actually this. Just type manifest dot permission dot read external storage, right? So I'm going to see if we have this permission from our user or not. So is not, okay, package manager dot permission granted. So this if condition means that if I don't have the permission to read external storage. Okay, so if I don't have it, what do I have to do? I have to ask for permission. Okay, so I will say request permissions, and it will ask me to give an input of array. Okay, and this will be an array of permissions. Actually, in this case, I have only one permission, but anyway, it has to be inside an array. So inside this array, I will say manifest.permission.read external storage again. And it will ask me a request code. This is just to identify this permission, okay? So we will use this. This is nothing relevant to the user. So you can say 1, you can say 2, you can say 1000. I will say 2, okay? And if I don't have it, I will ask it, but else means if I already have the permission, right? So I will check to see if I don't have permission. If I don't have it, I will ask it, but else if I have it, what will I do? I will just create an intent again, but this time this intent is a little bit different. It will be intent dot action pick. Okay, and what will we be picking is that media store. Okay, So it didn't add, I just added with Alt and Enter, media store dot images dot media dot external content URI. Okay, so I will take user to choose a media from media store, and this is actually an intent, but rather than taking user to another activity, it takes user to media store. This is nothing complicated. And this time I will say start activity, but for result, because I'm expecting a result out of this intent. So the intent is intent, and now I have to specify another code. Okay, so I will just say this is 1, and the usage of these request codes, now it makes sense. We have 2 usages, 2 requests here, so we will check to see if we are talking about the request 1 or request 2. Okay, so this is why system keeps asking us from request codes. So we see we asked a permission, or we already have one. So on request permission results, if you overwrite this function, okay, we will see what will happen if we ask for permission, and we will check to see if request code is 2, it means that we asked for permission. Okay, and that is only the condition that I'm going to continue doing this operation. And if I ask for permission, and if grant results dot size is greater than 0, and grant results are the results that I got back from user. Okay, and if they are greater than 0, and if the first result, I actually have only one result, is package manager dot permission granted. So it means that I have a result and the user granted me with the permission. So I'm going to do this intenting again in this coding block, right? So if I have already the permission, I'm going to the media store, and if I ask the permission and if users gives me, then I'm going to do the same thing again. Okay, and now I either have an permission or I asked and got it from the user. Then it means that I went to the media store. Now I have to override on activity results. Okay, so that I will get to check if request code is equal to 1 this time. It means that I went to the media store and result code is this activity result. Okay, I think I couldn't write it. Activity dot result. Okay, so we have result cancelled. We have another things. User can cancel this operation. We want activity result. Okay, and we have to check to see if the data is not null in this case. So we have something out of this media store. Okay, and if these conditions hold, I know that in media store I have chosen something. So I will create an image from the data, okay, dot data, and it will convert this into a data. So now I have an image, and this is the image that my user has chosen from the media store, from his or her photo library, right? So what I will do now, I will just open a try and catch because it might fail this time as well. Okay, remember we use this try and catch when if something goes wrong, if something has a potential to go wrong. Okay, so I will create a selected image with media store dot images dot media dot get bitmap. So the bitmap that I'm getting will use the content resolver, and it will drive the bitmap from the image itself. And I will say image view dot set image bitmap selected image. And now I think we are ready, right? As I said before, this may fail, so I will just write everything inside try and catch here, and it will be an exception. Okay, so you can say e.print stack trace and cut this, sorry, and paste it inside try, so that we will not have a crash when something goes wrong in this operation. Okay, so now let's try and see if our user will be able to choose another photo, a photo really, from their photo library. So say add art and click on select image, and as you can see it asks for permission. Okay, and if you allow your application, we can now see the photo library here. So it took us to the media store, and here I have two pictures, and if I select one, as you can see, now it is in my image view, and I can say this is very nice, and I can save it, of course, after we write the necessary code to save.